Hello students and welcome back. So we are going to be looking at the competency-based questions of yet another chapter from Glimpses of India, the part 1, that is a baker from Goa, from your book First Flight. So let's get going. So students, this is the first chapter that we're going to pick up from the Glimpses of India, and 2 chapters out of 3 are very factual. Therefore, the students find it very difficult to retain all the knowledge, or you could say facts, in this. If you go through these questions, I assure you that you'll be able to cover the chapter, and it's going to make it pretty easy. So let's start it. First question: how are traditional Goan bakers known as paders still relevant in Goan communities today? Traditional Goan bakers or paders are still relevant because they continue to make and bake bread using age-old methods and furnaces. While the consumers of these loaves might have changed, the bakers themselves have not vanished. They are an enduring part of Goan culture, providing freshly baked bread to the community. The sandwiches, bowls and bolenas are still an integral part of the Goan culture. So please remember, students, that there are certain keywords that must be there in answers to get you marks. And over here, if you see the sandwiches, bowls, bolenas are keywords, even furnaces is a keyword. So just take note of these keywords and you'll be able to gain good marks. Let's look at the next question. What role did the baker play in the narrator's childhood in Goa? In the narrator's childhood, the baker was not just a bread provider but also a friend, companion and guide. He would visit the narrator's home at least twice a day, and the sound of the bamboo staff heralded his arrival. The children eagerly awaited the baker's visit, not just for the bread but also for the bread bangles, a special treat. So if we talk about the keywords again over here, we have the staff, that was the bamboo stick he used to carry, and the bread and bread bangles, which are the keywords. Let's look at the next question. In the text, what is the significance of the traditional baker's bamboo and its distinctive sound? So here there is a special individual question on the baker's staff. So the traditional baker's bamboo and its distinctive sound serve as an iconic element of the baker's arrival in the morning. The jingling thud of his bamboo staff was not only a signal of his presence but also a cherished childhood memory. It symbolized the start of a new day and the anticipation of fresh bread. The bamboo staff was used by the baker to announce his arrival as he made his rounds through the village, through the neighborhood, making it an integral part of the baker's identity and his connection with the community. So the jingling thud is the importance of that staff, because that used to tell the household people, the people in the neighborhood, that the baker has come. It used to announce his arrival, that it is symbolic of. And sometimes some of the memories when we grow up, we just think because of certain sounds or fragrances that we've had around us in childhood. So the writer says that he is able to recall his childhood because of that thud. Next question. How did the narrator and the other children feel about the baker's visits in their childhood in Goa? So this is from the perspective of the children. In the narrator's childhood in Goa, the baker's visits were eagerly awaited and filled with excitement. The children considered the baker their friend, companion and guide. They would run to meet and greet him when they heard the sound of his bamboo staff, and they were especially interested in the bread bangles he carried. Despite being pushed aside and unable to directly access the loaves, the children still relished the experience of the baker's arrival and the fragrant loaves he delivered. So I've put friend, companion and guide in quotes because I've taken it from the text, and whenever you quote from the text, you show how well you know the chapter. Next question is a long question, 100 to 120 words. Draw a pen portrait of the baker as depicted in the passage. So children, I actually changed this question from writing a character sketch to drawing a pen portrait, so that you're aware that this question also requires you to write a character sketch. It is only worded differently, but sometimes students don't understand this. Therefore, I wanted you to go through a question like this where you know that this is also needing to be a character sketch. Let's read the answer. The baker, as portrayed in the passage, is a significant and beloved figure in the Goan community. He is known for his traditional profession and his role in providing essential bread to the villagers. The baker's dress, called the kabai, is described as a single-piece long frock that reaches down to the knees. In the narrator's childhood, some bakers were seen wearing shirts and trousers shorter than full length once but longer than half pants, which has become a distinctive style associated with bakers. The baker was not just a bread seller but also a custodian of important relationships in the village. He had a friendly rapport with the lady of the house who often purchased bread from him. He was diligent in his work, making daily rounds to deliver bread to homes and collecting bills at the end of the month. The baker's plump physique, presumably from a prosperous profession, was a notable characteristic. Even today, individuals with a similar appearance are likened to the bakers. So children, over here we see that we've talked about his dress, we've talked about his visit and his relationship to the people of the village. Of course, you can add a lot to it, which I have not added because we've read in the previous questions, and I expect you to add it over here. You could add about the bread bangles, you could talk about his thudding staff that he used to carry with him, and all the love that he used to get from the children over there. All of that could be added to his character sketch. Next, I have some extra practice questions for you. Let's read them. The following are some questions for you to practice on your own. How has the traditional baker's profession and appearance evolved, that is changed over time as mentioned in the text? What role did hot tea play in the narrator's childhood and how did it relate to oral hygiene? Describe the typical interaction between the baker and the household he visited. So for the second question, I can tell you when the little children used to run out listening to the baker that he has arrived in the morning, they would not wash or brush their mouth. They would rather just have hot tea and gargle with it thinking that tigers do not brush their teeth. And the third question for the typical interaction, you don't only write the interaction that he had with the children of the house, but also with the other people who came out to buy bread. So that brings us to the end of the video. I just hope you enjoyed it and you will find the chapter easy, and I enjoyed making it. Let's see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.